So I got one for you guys. This is a an encounter I had with what I guess you could call it an animal, but I don't know. This isn't one of my more crystal clear specific ones. It's because it happened a long time ago, and when I witnessed it, I just kind of put it out of my head and I forgot about it for a long time. So here's what happened. About a week ago, I looked out my bedroom window, and there's like a ledge, like the roof ledge with the shingles. I'm on the third floor, um, and there's a like a ledge with the shingles, and it was a dry brown leaf, like, and the stem of the leaf was sticking in between two shingles, and the leaf was vertical. So I saw the leaf, and I was like, for a second, it looked funny. Like, what is that? Like its orientation, it looked funny. I was like, oh, it's a leaf, but it triggered a memory. I was like, whoa, that's right. I just didn't think about it for so long. But back in my what I'll call my Ouija board days, shortly after college, I was having a lot of unusual experiences, and for some reason, I one of these experiences. Now I don't know why, but I just pushed it out of my mind and forgot about it. Just I was like I just disregarded it. Oh, it must have just been an animal running. 1 second. Sorry about that. I just had to check on something, but yeah. So it reminded me of this day. It was again back in my Ouija board days. So I'm living at my dad's house, and I look out my bedroom window, and I see something. It appeared to be a small animal, except I didn't recognize it. Didn't look like an animal I was familiar with. It was green in color. It was about half the size of a squirrel. And the reason I use a squirrel in this example for relative sizes is the way it reacted when it like realized I was like there. Like it reacted like a squirrel running from a human. So I don't know if you've experienced this. Most of you probably have. But if you sneak up on or you come across like a squirrel who's like busy doing something, like eating or something, and they don't realize you're there, and then you pause and you watch them, and they like eventually look up and see you and realize like the human is like too close, and it just it beelines it. It bolts. That was the reaction that this little creature animal had to me. So I look out the window. The blinds are already up. But anyway, I look out the window. I walk up to the window. I look out the window, and I see this green leaf. It had like a leaf texture. It's the best way I can explain it. It's been a long time, but yes, a leaf texture look, and it was green. It was about half the size of a squirrel. It's been now again. Like I said, I put it out of my mind. I just forgot about it, so I can't give the specific details of what it looked like. What I can tell you is I remember how I felt about it, about how I after seeing it. How did I feel? I can remember that clearly. What I can't remember clearly is exactly what it looked like. I remember it was green and leafy and about half the size of a squirrel. And when it saw me, it boom just sprinted away so fast. And then I just like put it out of my head. But I remember thinking, that was weird. It ran like abnormally fast. It didn't look like any animal I've recognized. What was that? Was that a normal creature? What the heck was that? And then I put it out of my head. I saw I had a lot of experiences back then. So that was just one of a number. For whatever reason, I put it out of my head. And I saw that leaf sticking out of my roof, and then it triggered the memory to the point where I told my coworker, the coworker who had the tooth, I'll put the link below, but he chipped a tooth eating pizza, looked in the mirror, and his piece of his tooth was missing, rinsed his mouth out with water, looked again, and his tooth was back. Really messed up. A matrix glitch, something fierce. But yes, so he understands He would have told me about the tooth, but he knows what about my like where I come from, what I've seen and understand. So he felt comfortable sharing the story with me because he's afraid people are gonna think he's a freaking nut. But he told me because he knows I can understand about this and I can relate to it. So yeah, I told him like about the that I told him about my memory that I'm sharing with you now about this creature that like beelined it. It just didn't look normal. So in conclusion, nowadays my understanding of the elemental realm. These would be creatures, beings, life forms. Some of the most famous would be the genies, Aladdin's lamp, the jinn, Djinn. Look it up. The jinn. People in the Middle East take it for granted that these creatures are quite real and influence humans. They generally are not very nice. The really bad poltergeist stories and the really bad demonic possessions. Yeah, I know, like some people want to embrace that it's the devil, and no, a lot of times it's the freaking jinn. These are elemental beings, shapeshifters. But most of the elemental beings are friendly. Fairies. Oh, Sean's saying fairies are real. Yep, fairies are real. Absolutely. Absolutely. You don't like it, I'm sorry. Fairies are real. But anyway, yes, the elemental realm. And they're usually pretty damn small. My intuition is telling me that there's a good chance that weird creature that I could not recognize, the green leafy creature, was an elemental being. Boy, it bolted when it saw me. Just because the elemental realm and they're like fearful of humans because of what happened. After the not after the flood, way before the flood, but at some point we became like dangerous to them. Think about it. Like alien lands in your front lawn, and then all of a sudden the police are there with guns. Like humanity's not ready yet for these other beings, but we will be. We're getting there. Long time ago we were. That's why they're like unicorns. People remember these things because mermaids. Because a long time ago we actually intermingled with these beings. Elemental. The elemental realm is a big subject. Um, so, so I told my friend who had the tooth thing about my memory and that I think it might be an elemental being. I come home from work that day. This was only a couple of days ago. I came home from work. What is outside my bedroom window clinging to the screen? A praying mantis, which happens to be my favorite insect in the whole world. They're fairly uncommon. I've seen maybe a dozen now in my life. Once I saw like two in a day. But yes, a praying mantis, good size, about 5 inches long, green, leafy looking. It's camouflages to look like green leaves, right? So now I'm not going to be like jumping to all these crazy conclusions and like, oh, it's a sea creature. No. I'm saying synchronicity kicked in. Synchronicity is also a huge subject, and it's so diverse, and there's so much to talk about when it comes to synchronicity. And as we move forward, I'm going to get into synchronicity and how you can use it to shift your own future. Jumping timelines, quantum jumping. But yes, a green leafy praying mantis that I adore. I adore praying mantises. Love them ever since I ever saw one as a little kid. But yes, a green leafy creature outside my bedroom window right after I told my friend the story after I remember that. Talk about a coincidence, which of course there's no coincidences, synchronicity. And one last thing is that praying mantis stayed on my screen somewhere along it, different parts of it, for about 24 hours. A day and a night, spent about 24 hours there. So that's that's my story for today. I hope you guys are doing well. Please remember that you can just do one small random act of kindness every now and you can literally change the world. The butterfly effect is real, and you can change the world by doing a random act of kindness every now and then. Okay?